You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
All writers are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing to full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from critiques of the short story through to line edits of the full-length novel and copy editing for those preparing for publication. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your website, as well as help with those book blurbs and promotional material. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you in your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
The following message contains a special offer for listeners of this station. Are you a man over 40? Are you constantly looking for the nearest bathroom? Do you wake up multiple times a night to use the bathroom? Right now, Perfect Prostate is sending out free bottles of their groundbreaking new formula to listeners of this station. Perfect Prostate formula was developed by medical doctor Mitchell Fleischer, and its ingredients have been clinically studied to reduce your frequent nighttime bathroom visits and promote healthy urine flow. Right now, preferred customers get their first bottle of Perfect Prostate absolutely free. There's nothing to lose. Perfect Prostate is guaranteed to reduce that constant urge to use the bathroom, especially at night, and promote healthy urine flow. Don't wait. Call now for your free bottle. Just pay shipping and processing. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251. Supplies are limited. One free bottle per household. Call now. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251.
Hey folks, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Dr. Richard Hardin. We are on the same mission, which is waking up America. We just have different paths. So stay tuned for some information on how you can keep up with Richard and all his work.
Visit Richard's website at rahardin.com. That's the World Wide Web at rahardin.com. At his website, you can see a summary of the 6 books he has written, where purchases may be made. He also has a link to 18 videos on YouTube and several blogs about Christian beliefs. If you prefer, visit Amazon.com/Kindle and type in Richard Hardin to see and purchase his books.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network. Radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
Well, hello, America. This is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson, coming to you live right now from KLRNRadio.com. We're here every Monday through Thursday at 11 p.m. Eastern. Also available on Red Nation Rising Radio, the Liberty Channel, every Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern. And many, many more places. We've got lots of stuff to talk about today, but let's go ahead and get this thing started, shall we? Let's kick it off right about now. Folks, so if you missed it, for most of the evening we had Bernie Sanders and Ted Cruz going head-to-head over the Affordable Care Act. And, of course, Bernie Sanders didn't disappoint if you're a leftist and you think the government should be controlling everything, because the first thing he said was we should have universal health care. No, actually, we shouldn't, Bernie. I'm sorry. I know that you think that having government control everything is the end-all and be-all solution. Doesn't really surprise me, because you are basically a leftist statist who thinks the state should control everything. Otherwise, you wouldn't want government control of health care. So first things first, let's talk about that just a little bit, just to get it out of the way. I don't know. I mean, look, first of all, I have a question. So the election just happened. We have a president who's been elected. He's been appointing his cabinet members. And yet we have 2 senators on a stage talking about the Affordable Care Act and what we should be doing about that. Let me tell you what we should be doing about that. We should be doing what the Republicans should have hit the ground running doing, and they didn't do it. They should have repealed it already. It should be done. It should have already gone up for a vote. It should already be sitting on Trump's desk to be removed, and yet it's not. Now they're talking about it could be anywhere from around 2018, 2019 before they finally get it done. Why? You guys, we gave you a mandate in 10, 12, 16, 14, 16. At this point, you have control of everything, and now you're telling us you can't do one of the main things that you told us you were going to do if we gave you control of everything. Or if you can do it, it's going to take forever to get it done. You're talking about 2018. This is 2017. You're talking about another year of this? Really? After all the noise that you've made about how bad it is, and trust me, I understand firsthand how bad it is. There have been some terrible things that have happened under Obamacare. First of all, my children's doctor went out of business. Second of all, I had secondary insurance through my wife's employer through a spousal plan that has now been obliterated thanks to Obamacare because they couldn't afford to keep paying for it because everything got so much more expensive. Now, I mean, you half dozen or 1/6 or the other, I still have health care through my job, but guess what? It's gotten worse. It's not near what I had when I started. And now I'm responsible for copays that have gone up because now I don't have secondary insurance coverages. So those are just a couple of things. Now, one of the biggest faux pas I saw the night for Bernie Sanders was when a self-employed woman stood up and asked her question of Bernie Sanders, and her basic question was, look, I am a business owner. I have 5 separate locations that I run hair salons, and because of Obamacare, I've had to limit my number of people that work for me to 49 to make sure that I am not responsible for the mandate, because if I become responsible for the mandate, it will put me out of business. I want to know what you're going to do to be able to help me afford to be able to use the system that you say is so great. Bernie Sanders skips over all of that and starts talking about, here's the thing. If you have 50 employees, you should already be providing insurance. Never mind the fact that he just told her, she just told him, I don't have 50 employees, I have 49 for a reason. But we're up to the first break, so we're going to take a really quick break. When we come back, we'll keep talking about this ACA debate and much, much more. This is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson. Be back in about 60 seconds.
The following message contains a special offer for listeners of this station. Are you a man over 40? Are you constantly looking for the nearest bathroom? Do you wake up multiple times a night to use the bathroom? Right now, Perfect Prostate is sending out free bottles of their groundbreaking new formula to listeners of this station. Perfect Prostate Formula was developed by medical doctor Mitchell Fleischer, and its ingredients have been clinically studied to reduce your frequent nighttime bathroom visits and promote healthy urine flow. Right now, preferred customers get their first bottle of Perfect Prostate absolutely free. There's nothing to lose. Perfect Prostate is guaranteed to reduce that constant urge to use the bathroom, especially at night, and promote healthy urine flow. Don't wait. Call now for your free bottle. Just pay shipping and processing. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251. Supplies are limited. One free bottle per household. Call now. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251.
All right, folks, welcome back. This is America Off the Rails. Got the first break out of the way, so what do you say we keep on going here? All right, so we've been talking about this ACA debate, and again, I just have the question, why are 2 senators taking up airtime on CNN to talk about Obamacare when we were told it was going to be gotten rid of as soon as we gave Republicans control of the House and the Senate? And the presidency, which we've done, and yet now we're being told, well, it may take a while to get all this sorted out. That's not what you told us when we gave you the job. As I promised, I'm going to hold everybody accountable, because one of the reasons that I personally wanted to make sure that we sent conservatives to the White House and to the Senate and to Congress. Now, notice I said conservatives, because again, I'm still not sold on this whole Trump being a conservative thing. He's made some moves that make me think that he understands what being a conservative is. I'm still just not sure that at his heart that is who he actually is. So only time will tell. I could be wrong. If I am, I will, of course, come on and tell everybody I'm wrong yet again. I've been doing it now for a few weeks because I never really thought we were going to see a President Trump, and thought that him getting the nomination was the worst idea ever, because I was convinced that the Hillary machine was going to devour him, and yet somehow he's managed to survive it, and so far done a fairly decent job at the helm. I mean, granted, it's only been a couple of weeks, who knows, but things are starting to look up in some very positive ways. I do hope that trend continues. Now, again, why this ACA stuff is so important is because, we were talking about it before the break. There was a lady who stood up, self-employed, talked about the fact that if she was to hire just one more person, it would basically put her out of business, because it would make her responsible for the healthcare mandates. And of course, Bernie glossed over all of that and said, well, don't you have 50 employees? Because if you have 50 or more employees, you should be providing health insurance coverages. It's already part of the law. And she's like, but I don't. See, I just told you I have 49. Well, what happens when one of your people gets sick? What happens if one of them gets cancer? What happened before? And then she goes on and says, well, here's the thing that we haven't talked about yet. Now, not only do I not have the ability to provide insurance for my people because I can't afford to be part of the mandate, thanks to the mandates, I can't afford insurance for myself for the first time ever. And he just completely left that alone. He's just like, oh, well, you see, you should be caring for your employees. You should be making sure that they have health insurance, because what happens if one of them gets sick? That's what I want to fix. I want to make sure that we have universal health care so that everyone has access to health care. Bernie, again, I'm just going to say this one last time. Because, you started talking about how we're one of the only countries, first world countries, that doesn't provide some form of universal health care for our citizens. Let's not forget that before we passed this monstrosity, you remember this thing that we had to be told we had to pass it to find out what was in it, that those people from those countries used to come here to get health care done because there were things that they were waiting forever to get done. And if you think I'm making this up, let's not forget, I believe it was Katie Couric when the Olympics were in Britain, and she had hurt herself, and she had specifically wanted to make sure that she got to go through Britain's socialized medical care system so she could tell people about it back home, because this was back when we were still dealing with the Obamacare situation. And, I'm sure Couric, is being a leftist, thinks socialized medicine and universal health care is probably a great thing. She was specifically told that since she was a person of affluence, she didn't need to use the government healthcare system. They were going to take her to a private doctor. So one of the things that Bernie Sanders was talking about tonight couldn't have been further from the truth, because he was talking about this was going to make it affordable for everyone and going to make sure that everybody gets the same kind of healthcare, where as of now, you only get the best healthcare if you can afford it. But under universal healthcare, there is still a second-tier system for the people that have money. And it's still a private system. So universal healthcare takes care of one group of people, and the private pay folks have access to rich people healthcare. But Bernie Sanders doesn't talk to you about any of that because he doesn't want you to understand how the system is actually designed to work. If we get universal health care, it's only going to be the poor people that ultimately wind up using that system. Congress won't be on universal health care. They won't need to. They still have gold ticket health care. They still have gold parachute retirement plans. Let me tell you one way to quickly fix whatever's going on with our health care system. Pull their golden tickets. Put them on whatever form of government insurance we currently have. I guarantee you within 72 hours, whatever's broken with it would be fixed. And why are we giving people that are supposed to work for us better health care than we get anyway? That's my question. These people get carte blanche when it comes to health care, retirement packages, pretty much everything else you can think of, and then they tell us that we're too stupid to know what we should or shouldn't have. That's basically what Bernie Sanders kept doing tonight. People would bring up instances where he was wrong or that he had a misconception, and he would just play it off and be like, well, I don't know anything about running the hairdressing business, so I don't know what your profit margins are like. I've run several small businesses. Let me tell you, profit margins when you're running a small business, especially a small self-employed business, razor thin. You're operating on a shoestring and a prayer most days. You've usually got just enough money to pay your expenses, your regular day-to-day bills, and pray to God that nothing else happens when you're trying to build a business. And Obamacare has destroyed a lot of people's abilities to build businesses because it's putting undue strain on them in the first place, and it's putting undue paperwork on them in the second place, and it's making things financially not possible for them to do or to use. This is why the ACA needs to be repealed. Now, I'm not going to talk like the rest of these milquetoast that are, well, we need to repeal it and we need to replace it with something that's actually going to work. No, we don't. We need to repeal it, and we need to open up state lines for healthcare coverages. If you want to fix something, we need to foster competition. There doesn't need to be some huge government mandate. There doesn't have to be all this stuff going on behind the scenes. We can do this with one quick law. We can make it the same as car insurance because they made car insurance mandatory. Everybody remember, in this country, you can't drive without having some form of insurance. Heck, half the time anymore, you can't even start looking at a car until you prove to them that you have insurance. So if we're going to make health insurance mandatory, which is basically what Obamacare did, it didn't make healthcare mandatory. It made insurance mandatory. So if we're going to do that, let's do it the right way. Let's open up competition. Let's open up healthcare coverages to be able to be purchased across state lines like we do with car insurance. That would fix so many problems right then and there, because it would bring down the costs. If we could actually make the companies compete with each other, they would have no choice but to lower the costs. If you don't believe me, I'm going to give you an example. In my state, Oklahoma, there are a handful of cable companies. Not all of them are allowed to operate in the same place, though. So the four main competitors for any type of TV service usually are whatever cable company has access to your region of the state, and then you have AT&T Uverse is available in most places because they run most of the phones around here. Or you can have, if you just want to do satellite TV, you can either do Dish or DirecTV. Those are the choices. Those are the four choices. That's it. I know friends that when I worked for Southwest Airlines that have transferred down to the Dallas headquarters area, and they're telling me all the things that are completely different down there. Like the Dallas area, there's like 2 or 3 different electric companies that you can choose from. In the same area, there are 3 different electric companies, and you don't have to just go with one. Like in my area, there's one. There's the OEC. In Oklahoma City area, there is OG&E, and that's pretty much it. I mean, you have other co-ops further north, but if you have access to that, then that's the one that you have to pick. There's none of this, we're going to compete with each other. There's none of that. So you're locked into a price. I mean, these people are telling me, their cable bills, where anywhere else people are paying $100, $150 for channels, they're paying like $60, $70 because they have to, because there's like 6 different choices. Their electric bills are like $80, $90 a month, whereas mine, on average, even on a good month, is $175 because there's competition. So you want to fix the healthcare mess? The first thing you do is get rid of Obamacare. Just get rid of it. Now, you can do separate things to keep the couple of good things that I think actually came out of Obamacare. We need to keep the pre-existing condition stuff, because I don't think it's fair that anybody that has any type of a pre-existing condition should be able to be excluded from getting health care and health care coverages if they need it. I also like the idea, but not make it, I don't think it's mandatory now, but we need to make sure that it doesn't ever get mandatory, about being able to keep children on your health insurance up until the age of 26. I mean, I'm going to say something that's not going to be popular to the few from the 18 to 30 demographic that listen to this show, but I honestly think with what we know about science now, I don't think that people should be legally considered an adult until age 25, because we know that there is a part of your brain that doesn't allow you to fully grasp the consequences of your actions. That part of your brain doesn't start working until you're about 25. So as far as I'm concerned, we need to relook at a couple of different things, and I think that needs to be one of them, because I don't think that people that we already know scientifically don't really understand a lot of the consequences to the actions that they make on a daily basis, and the chances that they take on a daily basis, should be allowed to do things like sign contracts, because they're not thinking about the consequences. They're just like, oh my God, I'm an adult, I can sign this now, let's go. All right, so I'm long on this segment. We're going to have to take a really quick break. We will be right back. This is America Off the Rails. Don't go away.
The following message contains a special offer for listeners of this station. Are you a man over 40? Are you constantly looking for the nearest bathroom? Do you wake up multiple times a night to use the bathroom? Right now, Perfect Prostate is sending out free bottles of their groundbreaking new formula to listeners of this station. Perfect Prostate Formula was developed by medical doctor Mitchell Fleischer, and its ingredients have been clinically studied to reduce your frequent nighttime bathroom visits and promote healthy urine flow. Right now, preferred customers get their first bottle of Perfect Prostate absolutely free. There's nothing to lose. Perfect Prostate is guaranteed to reduce that constant urge to use the bathroom, especially at night, and promote healthy urine flow. Don't wait. Call now for your free bottle. Just pay shipping and processing. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251. Supplies are limited. One free bottle per household. Call now. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey folks, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Dr. Richard Hardin. We are on the same mission, which is waking up America. We just have different paths. So stay tuned for some information on how you can keep up with Richard and all his work.
Visit Richard's website at rahardin.com. That's the World Wide Web at rahardin.com. At his website, you can see a summary of the 6 books he has written, where purchases may be made. He also has a link to 18 videos on YouTube and several blogs about Christian beliefs. If you prefer, visit amazon.com/Kindle and type in Richard Hardin to see and purchase his books.
All right, folks, so let's change gears. What do you say? Actually, because we were really long in that last segment, we're going to have to take another break here in just a couple minutes. So I want to give you just a bit of a sneak peek of the last half of the show. So we're going to be talking about I never can remember how to pronounce this poor lady's name, but the Devos confirmation, and then, of course, there's been some breaking news about Senator Elizabeth Warren. Apparently, she's gotten herself into some hot water. So we're going to talk about that and much, much more. Now, I just want to finish up the last couple of minutes again talking about this whole ACA thing. I don't understand, again, why we were put through that for what was it? It was about an hour when I stopped watching and I realized that they were just going to keep going. I don't understand what the point of it was, because I feel like this is some sort of a dog and pony show. We've given the Republicans control of everything, and yet they still are talking about this like they can't seem to find a way to get it done. Not only that, but under the Republicans, they're already talking about increasing the debt ceiling to the point where it's basically going to be unlimited. As someone who is a fiscal conservative and has always told everybody I'm a fiscal conservative, and I was led to believe that most Republicans were supposedly fiscally conservative too, I'm kind of amazed at the fact that we finally give these people control, and one of the first things they do is what they kept saying that the Democrats shouldn't have done. I'm really starting to think that we are being hornswoggled here. I'm really trying not to think that way, and I don't. Honestly, at this point, I don't know what to think, because Trump is actually getting in there, rolling up his sleeves and trying to get things done, and Congress is like, but not so sure about any of this, and gonna have to take some time, gonna have to slow things down, gonna have to form some committees, gonna have to do, let's not forget the focus groups, we have to see how things are trending with the American public before we make a decision. And Trump's like, look, can we just get this stuff done? I mean, again, half of what he says scares me. Most of what he does I respect, though. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take a really quick break. Might as well get it out of the way just a little bit early, since we went long, not wrong, in the last segment. Get paid to talk for a living. Sometimes still can't manage to pull it off. This is the America Off the Rails show. We've hit the bottom of the hour. Going to take a really quick break. Be back in about 4.
The following message contains a special offer for listeners of this station. Are you a man over 40? Are you constantly looking for the nearest bathroom? Do you wake up multiple times a night to use the bathroom? Right now, Perfect Prostate is sending out free bottles of their groundbreaking new formula to listeners of this station. Perfect Prostate Formula was developed by medical doctor Mitchell Fleischer, and its ingredients have been clinically studied to reduce your frequent nighttime bathroom visits and promote healthy urine flow. Right now, preferred customers get their first bottle of Perfect Prostate absolutely free. There's nothing to lose. Perfect Prostate is guaranteed to reduce that constant urge to use the bathroom, especially at night, and promote healthy urine flow. Don't wait. Call now for your free bottle. Just pay shipping and processing. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251. Supplies are limited. One free bottle per household. Call now. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey folks, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Dr. Richard Harden. We are on the same mission, which is waking up America. We just have different paths. So stay tuned for some information on how you can keep up with Richard and all his work.
Visit Richard's website at raharden.com. That's the World Wide Web at RAHARDIN.com. At his website, you can see a summary of the 6 books he has written, where purchases may be made. He also has a link to 18 videos on YouTube and several blogs about Christian beliefs. If you prefer, visit Amazon.com/Kindle and type in Richard Harden to see and purchase his books.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Having a place to go after school will make you a better student. Having an outlet to express yourself will make you a better artist. Having something to do together will make you a better family. At the Y, we're helping build better friends, listeners, writers, swimmers, scientists, and musicians, one chance at a time. Give the gift of opportunity. Support the Y at ymca.net. The Y, for a better us.
All right, folks, welcome back. This is America Off the Rails. We're already into the bottom half of the show. Let's go ahead and change topics. We spent about the first half of the show talking about the great ACA debate. Now let's talk about the Devos confirmation, because, you know, I just saw something that I thought was kind of interesting. Sarah Silverman has apparently opted to make sure that all actors and actresses in Hollywood now homeschool their children thanks to this particular appointment. Let me say the same thing that I said about the Trump election. If there is a particular person that is involved in your government that scares you, it's probably an indication that your government's too powerful, not an indication with that particular person. Now, I do have something else I'd like to say about this whole education secretary thing. Can we just do away with that position altogether? I mean, look, do we really need an education secretary? And if we do, does it have to be a cabinet level position? I mean, look, I understand that we probably need some sort of national standards to make sure that, diplomas in Oklahoma mean the same thing as they do in California. So I understand there needs to be, a government set of minimum standards. These are the things that you must have so that your education and your diploma can mean the same thing from one state to the other. But, how much time could we save if that was all we allowed the federal government to focus on? Was the bare minimum things to make sure that there was like core completions, and that was their issue. The rest of it was left up to the states. The states used to be the laboratories for democracy. Now they're kept under thumb. That's one of the reasons why a lot of us have been okay with this whole idea of this education secretary appointment, because it's a step. It's a baby step, but it is still a possible step in the right direction. Because at this point, we have way too much going on. Way too much power to the federal government, and way too many other issues. And it's just amazing to me that we continue in this day and age to have this whole idea that we have to have government control. I mean, Bernie Sanders spent most of the night tonight talking about government control. And yet now we have a group that they did, and back to this confirmation today, they threw everything they had at her to keep her from becoming confirmed. They actually, remember how many jokes they made about the Republican senators filibustering, and how great it was going to be when Harry Reid did away or used the nuclear option to get rid of the filibuster, or not the filibuster, but the 60 vote majority for confirmations and for pretty much anything, because they were holding everything to a 60 vote majority at one point. And then the Democrats, when they got in power, said, you know what, we're just going to go back to the standard 50+1, and that would be the best thing ever. And now they're like, oh my God, we should be doing these with 60 vote majorities because we just put a crazy person in as the education secretary. Now, I don't really think that she's that crazy. I think we need to foster competition. One of the ways that we foster competition is by allowing things like charter schools and vouchers, because it's going to help foster competition. That's what makes a capitalist society work, is competition. When there's no competition, things get lazy, they get sloppy, there becomes complacency. And it's a bad thing in a capitalist society to be dealing with laziness, sloppiness, and complacency. So I think that this appointment is actually a good thing in a lot of ways. I also think it's funny that the same people that used to make fun of those of us with Christian backgrounds that thought that homeschooling our children was a good idea have now suddenly, the Hollywood elite's like, oh my God, we're going to start taking care of the education of our children right here in the Hollywood studios because we don't trust the national education system anymore. Funny how that works when the worm turns. All of a sudden, there's something that you don't like about the education system, even though nothing's happened yet. I mean, let's face it, this is just an appointment, so nothing's happened yet. But they're talking about, oh my God, we're going to start making it our responsibility to oversee the education of our children. So what, you're conservative now? Because guess what? We've been doing that now for decades. My children had extra homework every single day up until like 8th grade. When they were in their formative years, as far as like elementary stuff, they had extra homework on top of their homework every single day. We would go over things like civics, and we would go over things like the Constitution. And then when they were younger, before they could understand those concepts, I had them writing extra sentences. I had them doing extra spelling words because I wanted to make sure that my children were properly educated. One of the only ways that I could do that was by taking an active role in their education. So now, all of a sudden, these people don't like the Secretary of Education. All of a sudden, they're talking about, oh, we should probably take a more active role in our children's education. Gee, you just now thought of that? Really? All because you don't like the Secretary of Education pick? You're all of a sudden for, parental responsibilities and education at home? Funny how that works. But, the funny thing about this is they threw everything they had at her. And we're like, no, there's no way she's getting appointed. We're going to filibuster. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Well, guess what? The filibuster lasted until 12 Eastern today. And then they tried to do... They got a couple of Republicans to come over. So it went from 52-48 to 50-50. And then guess what? Mike Pence stepped in, did the vote, put it over the top. So she got confirmed. Great job, Democrats. You kept yourselves up all night. You wasted a lot of time, and yet you accomplished really not much of anything because she still got confirmed anyway. Which is probably what's going to happen with the majority of these appointments because, thank you, Democrats, you decided to get rid of the 60-vote threshold. Really appreciate that. You're making our lives so much easier now. Remember, this is exactly what we warned you about. Just because you're okay that something is able to be used when it's you guys' turn at the head of the table, don't forget, eventually somebody else is going to get a turn at the head of the table. Are you still going to be okay with it when it's somebody else's turn? If the answer to that question is no, you probably shouldn't have done it in the first place. Just saying. And those of us that have been doing this for a while tried to warn you, and you didn't listen. You just chose not to listen. All right, so I know I haven't really done this yet, so we're on the way to another break. Want to give a shout-out to the affiliates again. We are available on, of course, KLRNRadio every Monday through Thursday at 11 p.m. Eastern. We are available on the SHR Media folks, shrmedia.com, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at, I believe it's back up to 11 Eastern. They keep moving me around over there. Not sure on the time slot right now. crntalk.com. We're available over there every Saturday and Sunday at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central, 7 Pacific. And, of course, we're available on amfm247.com every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at, I believe they are 2 p.m. Eastern, maybe 1. Been a while. I'll need to confirm with them. And, of course, we're available on iHeartRadio, Stitcher, SoundCloud, FM Player, Google Play Music, Blueberry, and several other places that I cannot think of off the top of my head right now. Also, want to remind folks, if you haven't yet, please go check out the KLRN.com website. There is a giveaway listed there. Find out all the information about the mug giveaway that we have going on. Also, you'll see a newsletter there. Do encourage you to check that out as well. We are going to take a really quick break. This is America Off the Rails. Time to pay.
The following message contains a special offer for listeners of this station. Are you a man over 40? Are you constantly looking for the nearest bathroom? Do you wake up multiple times a night to use the bathroom? Right now, Perfect Prostate is sending out free bottles of their groundbreaking new formula to listeners of this station. Perfect Prostate Formula was developed by medical doctor Mitchell Fleischer, and its ingredients have been clinically studied to reduce your frequent nighttime bathroom visits and promote healthy urine flow. Right now, preferred customers get their first bottle of Perfect Prostate absolutely free. There's nothing to lose. Perfect Prostate is guaranteed to reduce that constant urge to use the bathroom, especially at night, and promote healthy urine flow. Don't wait. Call now for your free bottle. Just pay shipping and processing. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251. Supplies are limited. One free bottle per household. Call now. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey folks, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Dr. Richard Harden. We are on the same mission, which is waking up America. We just have different paths. So stay tuned for some information on how you can keep up with Richard and all his work.
Visit Richard's website at raharden.com. That's the World Wide Web at RAHARDIN.com. At his website, you can see a summary of the 6 books he has written, where purchases may be made. He also has a link to 18 videos on YouTube and several blogs about Christian beliefs. If you prefer, visit Amazon.com/Kindle and type in Richard Harden to see and purchase his books.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems.
All right, folks, welcome back. This is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson. And as promised, we've got one last topic to touch on as we start getting pretty long in the tooth for the show here. And that is the fact that apparently Senator Warren has gotten herself in a bit of hot water. Senator Warren has apparently been censured by the Senate. Apparently, let's see, Senate found Warren in violation of Rule 19, Section 2. Rule 19, Section 2, no senator in debate shall directly or indirectly by any form of words impute to another senator or to other senators any conduct or motive unworthy or unbecoming a senator. Actually, we have some audio about that, so we're going to go ahead and play that audio now. Bear with me for just a moment while I work on getting that queued up. So I just realized that the screen I had that stuff on somehow managed to get closed. So bear with me for just 1 second. And I just realized my little background music is still playing, so we should probably fix that too. All right, so give me just 1 second here, getting the audio prepped right now. All right, so here's clip number 1.
The Majority Leader.
The senators impugn the motives and conduct of our colleague from Alabama as warned by the chair. Senator Warren, quote, said Senator Sessions has used the awesome power of his office to chill the free exercise of the vote by black citizens. I call the senator to order under the provisions of Rule 19.
Mr. President.
The Senator from Massachusetts.
Mr. President, I am surprised that the words of Coretta Scott King are not suitable for debate in the United States Senate. I ask leave of the Senate to continue my remarks.
Is there objection?
Object.
I appeal the ruling.
Objection is heard. The senator will take her seat.
I appeal the ruling of the chair, and I suggest the absence of a quorum.
The clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Alexander.
And this is what it said.
And then, of course, we have this clip right here.
Senator Warren was giving a lengthy speech. She had appeared to violate the rule. She was warned. She was given an explanation. Nevertheless, she persisted.
All right, so there you have it. Basically, Senator Warren was actually censured a bit by the Senate because of the fact that they feel that she violated a certain segment or section of how they feel that debate should happen on the Senate floor. Because of this particular violation, she will no longer have access to the Senate floor for the remainder of this particular session. And it couldn't happen to a nicer fake Indian, I'm just saying. I mean, let's face it, she's not been the most forthcoming person anyway. I'm kind of surprised they never censured her for pretending that she was something that she wasn't. Especially with something as... it doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, we're talking about someone who basically pretended to be a completely different nationality just to get brownie points. And now she's being censured by the Senate. And you heard the complaints that she was making. Look, I don't care who she felt like she was quoting or what she thought she was saying. Those remarks were directed at a particular person who is a senator, and they have a rule in place for that type of stuff. That stuff's not supposed to happen. This is what we've been talking about all along. We need to get back to rules and decorum and civility and actually start holding people accountable to follow rules and laws and the way things that are supposed to work. But they don't think about any of this anymore because we don't hold people accountable to the rule of law anymore. That's why we have sanctuary cities. That's why we have these groups of people that don't think that we should be enforcing our border laws because, well, who holds anybody accountable for laws anymore? I do. That's who. And you should be doing it too, especially if you're raising children. Because the rules that you set in your house, if you don't make sure that they understand that they're important and that they follow them, you're setting them up for failure. Because there are going to be laws. Granted, the government seems to pick and choose the ones now that they are going to enforce or make sure that are followed, but there are still laws and rules that have to be followed. And if we continue to set people up with the fact that they don't think that they need to follow rules or that they're above the rules or that they're better than the rules, then eventually you're setting everybody up for failure. And that's something that we need to start addressing at every level. is the fact that we seem to continually be setting people up for failure. Look at all of these meltdowns all over the place right now. This is predominantly because we have a participation trophy generation who has no concept of what to do when they lose. None. They didn't even contemplate the concept that they could lose, because a lot of these people of the demographic that we see being the most upset were the people that have watched Democratic rule and control for the last 8 years and were young enough that they grew up around that, and they assumed that that was going to be the constant from now on. They assumed that those of us with conservative leanings were going to go crawl away in the dark somewhere and just become extinct and die. They didn't realize that there was an entire group of people in this country that think the way that we do. That, yes, we understand abortion is something that's never going to go away, but that it needs to have controls. It needs to be as Roe v. Wade intended, which was safe, legal, and rare. There are things that need to happen. There are rules that must be followed. One of them is, if you're going to come to the country, we ask that you do so legally and in the way that is currently prescribed by law. If you guys don't like the way the law is written that covers immigration, then do something about it, but don't ignore it. We can make things better, but we can't make them better if we continue to ignore the rule of law. That leads to anarchy. You want to know why there's been so much rioting, burning, looting, people being beat up? It's because we have anarchists right now that are running the streets. We have the severe left right now, which is anarchy, and which are anarchists. I mean, I know there's right-leaning anarchists and there's left-leaning anarchists, but as far as I'm concerned, anarchy is more of a left-leaning idea. I could be wrong in my political assumptions, but that's always been my take on it, because I can't imagine anybody on the right being a major proponent for anarchy. It doesn't. The whole concept doesn't make any sense to me. But that's what we've been dealing with, is the extreme left. We have the extreme left and the extreme right running around acting like morons, and those of us that are kind of in the middle, which a lot of us, even if we weren't in the middle before this election, we've run screaming to the middle now, because we're watching the fringes act like idiots, and we don't know what to do. So we're doing everything that we can to try to make sure that we still get to remember that first and foremost, we're supposed to be Americans. All right, so we're going to start wrapping up the show when we come back. Time for one last break, so let's get it out of the way. This is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson. We'll be back in about 3 minutes.
The following message contains a special offer for listeners of this station. Are you a man over 40? Are you constantly looking for the nearest bathroom? Do you wake up multiple times a night to use the bathroom? Right now, Perfect Prostate is sending out free bottles of their groundbreaking new formula to listeners of this station. Perfect Prostate formula was developed by medical doctor Mitchell Fleischer, and its ingredients have been clinically studied to reduce your frequent nighttime bathroom visits and promote healthy urine flow. Right now, preferred customers get their first bottle of Perfect Prostate absolutely free. There's nothing to lose. Perfect Prostate is guaranteed to reduce that constant urge to use the bathroom, especially at night, and promote healthy urine flow. Don't wait. Call now for your free bottle. Just pay shipping and processing. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251. Supplies are limited. One free bottle per household. Call now. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey folks, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Dr. Richard Hardin. We are on the same mission, which is waking up America. We just have different paths. So stay tuned for some information on how you can keep up with Richard and all his work.
Visit Richard's website at rahardin.com. That's the World Wide Web at rahardin.com. At his website, you can see a summary of the 6 books he has written, where purchases may be made. He also has a link to 18 videos on YouTube and several blogs about Christian beliefs. If you prefer, visit Amazon.com/Kindle and type in Richard Hardin to see and purchase his books.
All right, folks, welcome back, and we are just about out of time. Now, the interesting thing is, right as we started talking about this, the hashtag #LetLizSpeak is now trending on Twitter. And, of course, all the leftists are coming out saying, oh, my God, she's being punished for reading a 30-year-old letter from Coretta Scott King on the floor of the Senate. No, she's being punished because she used that letter to frame an attack against a senator. That's why she's being punished. This doesn't have anything to do with trying to silence her. It doesn't have anything to do with not wanting her to read the letter. The fact of the matter is she knowingly broke a rule. She did it on purpose to try to get attention, and she got caught, and she got punished. This is why we have rules. I understand that, Congress thinks they're above the rules. Most of the American people anymore think that they're above the rules because the government cherry picks the rules that they're going to enforce, but we need to stop all this crap. We have laws and rules for a reason, and we need to remember why those laws and rules matter. And that's why right now we have a lot of people that are standing up saying, yay, good job, she did something she shouldn't have been doing, she got called on it, let's move on. And then we have the left that seems to think that rules don't apply, apparently, when they like someone. And now they've got a hashtag trending on Twitter that's #LetLizSpeak. For those of you who are wondering that maybe listening to this on a pre-recorded affiliate elsewhere, this show was recorded live on February 7, 2017, and it is just past the hour of 11. So that hashtag started trending about 5 minutes ago. And, of course, that was Central Time, so it's just a few minutes past midnight if you're on the East Coast, and about just a few minutes past 10 if you're on the left coast. And maybe that's why this is starting to trend now. All the lefties on the left coast are coming out to play. All right, so anyway, we are officially out of time. Again, just want to remind everybody, thanks for taking the time to tune in with us here every day. Whether it's live or Memorex doesn't really make any difference to me. Simple fact of the matter is I'm just elated that so many of you are tuning in. And that you do take the time to listen. We've gotten to the point now where within a few days of airing, pretty much everything that we run anymore through the America Off the Rails platform hits usually an average of anywhere from 350 to 400 listens. So thank you for taking the time to tune in every single episode, every single day. We understand there are millions and millions and millions of folks doing what we do out there, and the fact that you take the time to hang out with us makes me feel all warm and fuzzy. I'd do it even if nobody was listening, just because I'm really crazy enough to sit and talk to myself for an hour. But it's fun to know that people actually enjoy the work that we do and put time in it with us. This is Rick Robinson. I'll be back with you live tomorrow night. And don't forget, tomorrow night, Wednesday night, right here on KLRNRadio.com, we kick things off with the Conservative Curmudgeon Radio Show at 8 p.m. Eastern. Then we have Constitution and Culture at 9 p.m. Eastern. Then we have, I did it again, we have Jesse's POV at 9 p.m. Eastern, Constitution and Culture at 10 p.m. Eastern, and then I will round everything out at 11 p.m. Eastern right back here for America Off the Rails. And again, go check out the website, read the newsletter, enter the contest for the mug. Otherwise, I'm breaking into the boss's office and taking the thing myself. Have a great night, folks. Take care. God bless.